Do you believe eating fish is always healthy for seniors? Most people over 70 think they're making smart choices when they order fish at restaurants. But recent research involving over 5,400 older adults has uncovered 6 common fish that could be slowly damaging your brain, kidneys, and nervous system. Meet Ella, an 84-year-old grandmother who ate healthy fish twice a week for years, until her doctor discovered something shocking in her blood tests that changed everything. These discoveries could protect you from hidden toxins that accumulate faster in aging bodies. You're here because fish safety matters to you, and I respect that. What you might not realize is that you're about to discover which specific fish pose the greatest risks to seniors and exactly why your aging body processes toxins differently than younger people. The most critical information comes at the end. One popular fish that most people consider premium could be the most dangerous of all. Time is precious, especially when you consider that 73% of seniors unknowingly consume high-mercury fish, regularly thinking they're being healthy. But time is also on your side if you have the right information. Don't miss a single minute because these insights could make all the difference for you or someone you love. Fish number 1, king mackerel, the mercury time bomb disguised as heart-healthy food. This particular fish is especially dangerous because it's often recommended for heart health, but it carries a hidden threat. Consider Roy, an 81-year-old retired postal worker who had been eating grilled king mackerel twice a week for over 3 years after his doctor recommended more fish for his heart health. Roy chose king mackerel because it was readily available at his local market, and he enjoyed its rich, meaty texture. However, over time, his family began noticing subtle changes. He seemed more confused during conversations, had difficulty remembering recent events, and his hands occasionally trembled when holding his coffee cup. What Roy didn't realize was that his healthy fish choice was slowly accumulating mercury in his system. Here's what Roy realized. King mackerel contains some of the highest mercury levels of any fish, and aging bodies process mercury much more slowly than younger systems, leading to dangerous accumulation over time. Research from the Environmental Protection Agency shows that seniors have reduced kidney and liver function that makes it harder to eliminate heavy metals like mercury from their systems. King mackerel, being a large predatory fish with a long lifespan, accumulates mercury from everything it eats throughout its life. For seniors whose detoxification systems are already slowing down, regular consumption can lead to mercury poisoning symptoms including memory loss, tremors, and cognitive decline. How can you tell if mercury exposure might be affecting your neurological health? Pay attention to subtle changes in your mental clarity and physical coordination that seem to worsen over time. You might notice increased forgetfulness about recent events, difficulty concentrating on tasks that were once easy, or occasional trembling in your hands or fingers. Perhaps you've experienced unexplained fatigue, mood changes, or difficulty with balance and coordination that can't be attributed to other health conditions you're managing. The wonderful news is that you can easily avoid this risk while still enjoying delicious, heart-healthy fish options. Choose Atlantic mackerel instead of king mackerel. It's much lower in mercury while providing the same omega-3 benefits for heart and brain health. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, and anchovies are also excellent alternatives that are both safe and nutritious for seniors. Always ask specifically about the type of mackerel when dining out, as many restaurants don't distinguish between the safe and dangerous varieties on their menus. The beautiful part is that making this simple substitution eliminates the mercury risk while still providing all the cardiovascular benefits you're seeking from fish. If you've ever experienced unexplained memory issues or tremors, you understand why avoiding high-mercury fish is so important for cognitive health. But this mercury danger is nothing compared to what comes next. Fish number 2, tilefish, the restaurant deception that's harming senior brains. This one might surprise you because it's often disguised on restaurant menus as premium white fish. Let me tell you about Anna, 77 years old and a former teacher who enjoyed dining out twice a week at her favorite seafood restaurants. Anna always ordered the catch of the day or fresh white fish, thinking she was making healthy choices for her brain and heart. She trusted that restaurants would serve safe, high-quality fish, especially at the upscale establishments she frequented. However, Anna had no idea that many of these premium white fish offerings were actually tilefish, one of the most mercury-contaminated fish available, particularly dangerous for seniors like herself. The truth is, tilefish, especially from the Gulf of Mexico, contains mercury levels that can exceed safe limits for seniors by 400%, yet it's commonly served in restaurants without clear identification. Clinical studies show that Gulf tilefish contains mercury concentrations that are particularly harmful to aging nervous systems, potentially causing symptoms that mimic early dementia or Parkinson's disease. Because tilefish is often marketed as a premium white fish option, many seniors unknowingly consume it regularly while believing they're making healthy choices. The mercury in tilefish specifically targets the nervous system, potentially causing irreversible damage to brain cells that are already more vulnerable due to aging. What are the warning signs that hidden mercury exposure from restaurant fish might be affecting your cognitive function? Be aware of neurological symptoms that develop gradually and seem unrelated to your other health conditions. You might notice increasing difficulty with word recall during conversations, problems with fine motor control like buttoning clothes or writing, or episodes of confusion that seem more frequent than normal aging would explain. Perhaps you've experienced unexplained mood changes, difficulty sleeping, or a decline in your ability to multitask or make complex decisions. Here's the empowering truth. You can protect yourself by asking specific questions when dining out and choosing restaurants that prioritize transparency about their fish sources. Always ask your server to identify the exact type of white fish being served. If they can't tell you, or if they mention tilefish, politely decline and choose a clearly identified safe option like cod, haddock, or flounder. Research restaurants beforehand by calling to ask about their fish sourcing practices and whether they can guarantee mercury-safe options for seniors. When in doubt, choose restaurants that specialize in sustainable seafood and are knowledgeable about mercury levels in their offerings. The amazing outcome is that taking control of your dining choices eliminates unnecessary mercury exposure while still allowing you to enjoy restaurant meals safely. Anyone who has experienced confusion about what's actually being served at restaurants understands the importance of asking specific questions about food safety. However, what I'm about to share is even more concerning. Fish number 3, swordfish, the luxury fish that's poisoning senior organs. Here's something that will genuinely concern anyone who thinks expensive fish is automatically safer. Think about the experience of Billy, an 83-year-old widower who treated himself to swordfish dinners at upscale restaurants for special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, and holiday celebrations. Billy viewed swordfish as a luxurious, healthy indulgence and believed that paying premium prices meant he was getting the safest, highest quality fish available. He had no idea that this treat was actually one of the most mercury-contaminated fish he could choose, and that his aging kidneys and liver were struggling to process the toxic load from each elegant meal. What Billy learned: swordfish accumulates mercury for decades in the ocean food chain, creating toxic levels that can overwhelm aging organs and cause permanent damage to the nervous system. Scientists at Harvard Medical School discovered that swordfish mercury concentrations can be 10 to 15 times higher than safe levels for seniors, and that the large size and long lifespan of these fish creates a perfect storm of toxin accumulation. For older adults whose kidney function naturally declines with age, consuming high-mercury fish like swordfish can accelerate kidney damage while simultaneously poisoning the nervous system. The mercury in swordfish specifically targets brain tissue and can cause symptoms that are often misattributed to normal aging. How do you know if luxury fish choices might be compromising your organ health? Look out for symptoms that affect multiple body systems and seem to worsen after special dining occasions. You might notice fatigue that lasts for days after eating certain fish, unexplained kidney or digestive discomfort, or cognitive symptoms that fluctuate based on your recent dining choices. Perhaps you've experienced increased blood pressure, changes in urination patterns, or neurological symptoms like numbness or tingling that your doctors can't fully explain through your other health conditions. The liberating news is that you can still enjoy special occasion dining while choosing fish that provide luxury taste without the toxic risk. Try fresh halibut, wild-caught salmon, or premium cod preparations that offer the same elegant dining experience without mercury contamination. Look for restaurants that specialize in sustainable, low-mercury seafood and specifically cater to health-conscious diners. Ask about preparation methods that enhance the natural flavors of safer fish. Often these dishes are even more delicious than high-mercury alternatives. The wonderful result is that you can maintain your special dining traditions while protecting your long-term health and organ function. This shift from risky luxury fish to safe premium alternatives often becomes a source of relief for seniors who want to continue enjoying fine dining. Let me know you're still with me by commenting "safe" below if this insight about luxury fish dangers makes sense to you. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical guidance that makes senior living easier. But there's something even more shocking about the next fish. Fish number 4, big-eye tuna, ahi, the sushi favorite that's attacking senior immune systems. This one is particularly dangerous because it combines mercury toxicity with bacterial risks that aging immune systems can't handle. Picture the journey of Michelle, a 79-year-old grandmother who had embraced sushi, dining as a way to stay socially connected with her adult children and grandchildren. Michelle loved the fresh taste of ahi tuna and believed that eating raw fish was healthy and sophisticated. She didn't realize that big-eye tuna contains extremely high mercury levels and that consuming it raw posed additional bacterial risks that her aging immune system wasn't equipped to handle. After several months of regular sushi outings, Michelle began experiencing memory problems, digestive issues, and frequent minor illnesses that seemed disproportionate to her usual health status. The breakthrough discovery, big-eye tuna delivers a double threat of high mercury content plus bacterial exposure that can overwhelm senior immune systems and cause both neurological and infectious disease complications. Evidence from the FDA proves that big-eye tuna contains mercury levels that exceed safe consumption guidelines for seniors, while the practice of eating it raw introduces additional risks from salmonella, listeria, and parasites that healthy younger immune systems might handle, but aging systems cannot. The combination of mercury toxicity weakening the nervous system, while bacterial exposure challenges an already compromised immune system, creates a particularly dangerous situation for older adults. What should you watch for regarding the combined effects of mercury and bacterial exposure from raw fish consumption? Be aware of symptoms that affect both your cognitive function and your resistance to illness. You might notice that you're getting sick more frequently than usual, especially with digestive or respiratory infections that take longer to resolve than they used to. Perhaps you've experienced a combination of memory issues along with increased susceptibility to foodborne illness, or you've noticed that your energy levels and mental clarity seem to fluctuate unpredictably after sushi meals. The encouraging reality is that you can still enjoy social dining and Japanese cuisine while making safer choices that protect both your brain and immune system. Choose cooked sushi options like shrimp tempura, eel, or salmon teriyaki that provide the same social experience without the dual risks of mercury and bacteria. If you enjoy tuna, opt for canned light tuna, skipjack, which is much lower in mercury and always fully cooked. Look for restaurants that offer senior-friendly sushi alternatives and are knowledgeable about food safety for older adults. The amazing thing is that many cooked Japanese dishes are actually more flavorful and satisfying than raw options while being infinitely safer for senior health. People who have experienced unexpected illness after sushi meals understand why food safety becomes even more critical as we age. Yet this next fish might be the most deceptive of all. Fish number 5, farmed salmon, the chemical-laden imposter, masquerading as health food. You might not expect this, but the salmon you think is helping your heart might actually be poisoning your entire system. Imagine two 76-year-olds, Stephen and Scott, both following doctor's orders to eat more salmon for heart health. Stephen buys wild-caught Alaskan salmon, while Scott chooses the more affordable farm salmon from his grocery store. Both men eat salmon twice a week for 2 years. Stephen experiences improved energy and cognitive function, while Scott develops increasing joint pain, fatigue, and inflammatory symptoms that his doctors can't fully explain. The difference isn't just price. It's the toxic chemical load that farmed salmon carries from contaminated feed and crowded growing conditions. The key insight: farmed salmon contains dangerous levels of PCBs, dioxins, and antibiotics that can trigger chronic inflammation in seniors whose bodies are already prone to inflammatory conditions. Researchers have found that farmed salmon often contains industrial chemicals and antibiotics that accumulate in fatty tissue and can worsen arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline in older adults. The crowded conditions in salmon farms require chemical treatments to prevent disease, and these chemicals remain in the fish tissue even after cooking. For seniors whose immune systems are already managing multiple health challenges, these additional toxins can tip the balance toward chronic illness and accelerated aging. How can you tell if farmed fish consumption might be contributing to inflammation and health problems you're experiencing? Notice whether your inflammatory conditions seem to worsen despite following other healthy practices. You might observe that your arthritis pain increases, your energy levels remain consistently low, or you experience unexplained digestive problems that correlate with your fish consumption patterns. Perhaps you've noticed that certain inflammatory markers in your blood work have worsened despite making other positive dietary changes, or you feel generally more unwell without understanding why. What's hopeful is that switching to wild-caught salmon can actually reverse inflammatory damage while providing genuine heart and brain benefits. Look for clearly labeled wild-caught Alaskan salmon and be willing to pay the higher price for the dramatic difference in safety and nutrition. Choose smaller portions of high-quality wild salmon rather than larger portions of farmed varieties. Consider other wild-caught fatty fish like sardines or mackerel as more affordable alternatives that provide similar omega-3 benefits without the chemical contamination. The satisfying result is that many seniors notice reduced inflammation, improved energy, and better overall health within weeks of making the switch. If you've ever wondered why your inflammation seems worse despite eating healthy fish, this chemical contamination might be the missing piece of the puzzle. But this final fish might be the most heartbreaking because it's often a comfort food. Fish number 6, imported catfish, the comfort food that's compromising senior immune systems. Now, for the most important warning, this one is particularly heartbreaking because it often represents family traditions and comfort foods that seniors cherish. Let me tell you about Madison, an 85-year-old grandmother whose family had Sunday catfish dinners as a beloved tradition for over 30 years. Madison took pride in preparing her grandmother's recipe, and the whole family looked forward to these gatherings. However, to save money, Madison had switched to imported catfish from Asia, not realizing that these fish were raised in unregulated farms using antibiotics banned in the United States. Over time, Madison began experiencing frequent infections that were resistant to standard antibiotic treatments, and her doctor couldn't understand why her immune system seemed to be failing. Here's the profound truth. Imported catfish often contains antibiotic-resistant bacteria and chemical residues that can destroy senior immune systems and create life-threatening infections that don't respond to treatment. Research from food safety experts shows that catfish from unregulated overseas farms are often treated with antibiotics and chemicals that create superbugs, bacteria that resist standard medical treatments. For seniors whose immune systems are already compromised, exposure to these antibiotic-resistant organisms can lead to infections that are extremely difficult to treat and potentially fatal. The cost savings from buying imported fish can result in medical expenses and health complications that far exceed any money saved. How can you tell if imported fish consumption might be compromising your immune system and making you vulnerable to resistant infections? Pay attention to patterns of illness that seem unusual for your normal health status. You might notice that minor cuts or wounds take much longer to heal than they used to, or that you're experiencing more frequent infections that don't respond well to your usual treatments. Perhaps you've had infections that required multiple rounds of different antibiotics, or your doctor has mentioned concerns about antibiotic resistance in cultures taken from infections you've developed. The empowering news is that choosing domestic catfish can eliminate these risks while preserving your cherished family traditions and comfort foods. Look specifically for U.S. farm-raised catfish, which is held to strict safety and antibiotic standards that protect your health. The taste and texture are often superior to imported varieties, and you can prepare them using the same beloved family recipes. Consider this an investment in both food safety and tradition preservation. You're protecting your health while maintaining the family gatherings that bring everyone together. The beautiful result is that you can continue enjoying comfort foods and family traditions without compromising your immune system or putting yourself at risk for dangerous infections. This choice to prioritize safety over savings often becomes a decision that protects not just individual health, but entire family traditions. Final thoughts. Looking back, these 6 fish reveal that making healthy choices after 70 isn't just about eating more fish. It's about understanding which fish support your aging body and which ones pose hidden dangers. These warnings aren't just about avoiding certain foods, they're about protecting your brain function, organ health, and immune system during the years when you're most vulnerable to toxin accumulation. The good news is that awareness of these risks allows you to make informed choices that protect your health while still enjoying delicious, nutritious fish. You don't have to give up fish entirely. You just need to choose wisely based on your body's current needs and limitations. The choices you make today about fish consumption can prevent serious health complications and preserve your quality of life for years to come. If you've recognized any of these dangerous fish in your regular diet, know that making changes now can prevent future health problems and may even reverse some existing damage. Today, check your freezer and examine your dining habits to identify which of these 6 fish you might be consuming unknowingly. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share which of these fish surprised you most, or tell us about safer fish choices that have worked well for your family. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video.